What a cliffhanger, what a cliffhanger, what a cliffhanger of this week's episode of World Trigger, episode 42. So, 8 episodes left. Let's just take a few moments to actually think about that. 8 episodes. 8 weeks, unless there's a break, but 8 episodes until World Trigger is done. The anime is done. It's hard to believe. It feels like I've been following World Trigger for a very long time, which I actually kind of have. I think it's been about over a year now, or has it been a year? It's been a long-ass time since I've sat down and reviewed World Trigger. And so, 8 episodes. Interesting. So, okay, so let's get into this episode. So, episode 42 of World Trigger gives us a new character that is going to be quite the challenge for Kuga. And this is definitely going to change up the dynamic of the future episodes, or the final remaining episodes of World Trigger, because throughout majority of World Trigger, let's face it, usually Kuga doesn't really have much of a challenge. I mean, even with the humanoid neighbor, he didn't have that bad of a challenge. I mean, he had a challenge, but it wasn't that bad, if you get my drift. And so, seeing how Kuga admitted that this dude is tough at the end of the episode, it shows you that this guy is incredibly strong. For even someone like Kuga that's experienced at fighting, for him to say something like that, it shows you that this dude is no joke. And his side effect is very scary, because Kuga fucked up. He fucked up bad. This is the type of dude that goes on a reconnaissance mission. He gets himself fucked up, or he watches people, and then he fights them a little bit, and he gets fucked up, and then he runs away, and then he gets this information about them, and he uses his side effect to where he can be better the next time around. And I mean, if you think about it like that, it's a very devastating side effect, because if this guy was to, let's say, go to like an enemy nation, like a neighborhood, and go to a different country, he goes there, he fights a little bit, he fights some strong people, he gets his ass kicked, of course, but he bails out and he gets out of there fine, and then he comes back maybe a day or two later and does the exact same thing, and he bails out. He will continuously get this information, and he will continuously get stronger against his opponent because of his side effect, and that is very OP. Very OP, if you think about that. So, World Trigger this week, it definitely introduced an interesting opponent for Kuga, or our crew, because how are they going to overcome someone like this? Because if you think about it, World Trigger doesn't have many characters with side effects. I mean, there's some side effects we have seen throughout the series, but you don't see a lot of characters with side effects. And to see this type of side effect, it's very unique. It's very different from what I expected from side effects in general, and so to see that type of side effect, it goes to show you it's very useful. It's not useful at first, in first time battling someone, but if you battle someone over and over, this dude will just destroy you. Now, besides that, other portions of this episode, we come to find out that Fujin, you know, the black trigger that was taken away from Jin, is in the middle of the main headquarters of Border, and anyone that can actually use it will be able to go in there and grab it and use it depending on the mission. So it's like a black trigger for everybody to use. And that kind of showcases what Jin's plan was all along. He's training people to how to use his black trigger, and also he has it to where more people can use this black trigger in case some shit goes down, maybe Jin dies, other people can use it. I feel like that's what that's trying to hint at. Now, besides that, also, we get some, you know, setup and prep up for the upcoming match, the main match that we're going to get to see going on between this new dude with his side effect. We're seeing, you know, just these different individual matches throughout this episode, and it was mainly just there to space and fill out the time of the episode, and giving us a little bit more fluff to what the episode is. So, I mean, this week's episode of World Trigger, it was a good episode, it was. I mean, it still retains that Toei pacing, but it was still very good, and I like the way the ending was done. I cannot wait to see how Kuga is going to go up against someone like this. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.